So I'm trying something new here. Let's try and just, that works. Okay, so the voltmeter, once I get my probes into the wire here, this isn't great because I've had to just kind of poke them through the insulation, which is quite thick and heavy, but it is working. And so these numbers are going to lie a little bit. What I'm trying to do is just actually figure out what is the current and voltage to determine whether it's worth my time to double the panels or not. There's a lot more to it than that. All right, we're getting some readings, yes. So when we're getting high numbers, so right now, holy smokes, 900 watts. That was impressive. But what I'm actually concerned about is the low numbers. Anything below 600 watts. And I want to calculate the voltage and the wattage. So if we went 273 watts at 29.3 volts and you calculate out the amps, it comes out pretty high off the top of my head from what I did a calculation before. You're well over 10 amps, which would mean doubling the panels. You're not going to get your 600 amp or 600 watt and max out the system because you're going to hit maximum 15 amps and the voltage is too low. But 15 amps at 29 volts, that doesn't make sense to me. I thought the minimum was 32 volts on this system. I don't know. But anyway, I did a quick calculation earlier and I was super disappointed that I wasn't going to be able to max it out. But then I realized I've got 2 solar panels going in. And so that wattage of like 300 watts or whatever, is 2 panels from the 2 charge controllers. So I can actually half the current because that's what's going to each input. So, you know, while we're low here, I am going to, this is probably a bad idea, but I'm going to unplug. Please don't arc. All right. I get my probe back in. So now we don't have to calculate or guess. This is my voltage from one panel and the current charging. So what was that? 29, oh, come on, 29 volts and 100 watts. That should be easy math, but I can't do it off the top of my head. Because that would be 100 divided by, say, 30. 3, 6, 9, 3. 3, 6, 9. Maybe like only 3 or 4 amps. So if I had 2 panels, that would double the charge. And so there we go, 300. The voltage is the same. 6, 9, 10, 20. This isn't making sense to me. I'll rewatch the video and do the calculations. My fingers hurt from pushing these probes in. So the MPPT charge controller seems to be maintaining 29 volts. I've got way more amps available to draw, but then the voltage is too low. Maybe the MPPT charge controller will just increase the voltage to make use of the amps, because if it hits 15 amps, that's its max. Right now on the one panel, it's getting the most current at that voltage. So I don't know. Everything's a balance and a trade-off. I'll get some full sun here too. It's a 500 watt panel, so come on, let's get up over 400 watts. It's incredible. It's still holding 29 volts. These stupid panels are supposed to be rated for like 51 volts VOC. Which means I can't put two in series because they could potentially burn out the circuitry in this thing. But if it's never going to go over 30 volts, like, that's stupid. But I'm not going to risk it because I'm not going to risk it. Oh, my hands hurt. Oh, shit. Oh, and of course it just jumped up to 300 watts. Okay, here we go. There we go, 37, 36, 37. And then it just keeps going back down to 20. See, it's hunting. I guess the MPPT controller is hunting. I wonder if me hooking up my meter is screwing with it, though. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. But look, that was damn near max output, and it was only hitting 37 volts. Which is well below the 50-something. I could totally put two in series, and it shouldn't hurt anything. Shouldn't, air quotes. This is really hurting my hands to hold these probes in. Yeah, that seems to be a better position. I don't have to push so hard. So I'm surprised to see the voltage vary that much. I didn't think voltage varied very much from a solar panel. But maybe that's just how, when it's being loaded up. It's been a long time since I read about load curves, that sort of thing. But that's what an MPPT tracker does. Puts different current loads on the panel to maximize wattage output. Okay. That's enough. Okay, let's run them both again. So this is 2 MPPT charge controllers, multi-point power tracking. Each one is 600 watts capable, and I've got a single 500 watt panel plugged into each one. So they're individually controlled.